Hi, I'm Kylie and Neil, founder of Kan Culture, and welcome to Kan Talk Kulture. In this podcast, I sit down with some of Australia's most progressive founders and CEOs to explore the heart of their company cultures, what drives them, what they value, and what it's really like to work for the companies they lead. You'll also find occasional episodes packed with practical HR insights to help you build safer, stronger, and more trusted workplaces. So whether you're a new team member getting to know your workplace, curious about creating remarkable company cultures, or just wanting to know more about implementing HR best practice, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the Kan Talk Kulture podcast. My name's Kylie Neal, your host, and today my guest is Karma Greig, who's the founder of Inline Innovations and Inline Nutralabs. Welcome, Karma.
Thank you.
Karma, it's an absolute pleasure to have you join me today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you give a bit of an introduction about yourself and about Inline?
I was born into contract manufacturing, so Inline Innovations and Inline Nutralabs are contract manufacturers. We manufacture cosmetics, pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals. My father he was a hairdresser, so he started formulating and created a shampoo, decided, I want to upscale this, so started manufacturing and decided to give his hairdressing life away and manufactured. In 2003, he was diagnosed with cancer, and so he sold the business. In 2005, I decided to start my own business, which was Inline Cosmetics, which is now known as Inline Innovations. We started off with 6 staff. We are now 120 full-time equivalent.
Wow.
And we have 60 to 70 agency workers on any given day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So it has been your life, this world. You were saying off the mic that you basically grew up in the manufacturing environment of your parents, and your dad would teach you about the chemistry of the products, and it's part of your whole world.
It's part of my DNA, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think I'm really lucky that I've inherited half of my dad's brain and half of my mum's brain because, I feel very blessed some days.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And one thing that you're very passionate about is Azo Dyes.
Yeah. I am. Even when I started formulating so I've actually got an allergy to it and quite a severe allergy, so I need an EpiPen. Before that, I researched them. I was quite interested in Azo Dyes. So Azo Dyes are predominantly yellow and red artificial colours.
Right.
They're used in textiles, food, cosmetics, obviously. So, we do manufacture with them.
Yeah.
Where I can, I try and dissuade customers to use them. Only because they're all known carcinogens. So and they're everywhere in our day-to-day. So they're in cleaning products, they're in shampoos, they're in our medicine, they are in our textiles, they're everywhere. And I think that my aim in life is before I leave this universe, is that we no longer use Azo Dyes in our day-to-day world.
Yeah. So for the layperson that has never come across what Azo Dyes are, what does it look like in products? How can people, just kind of that split of how they can be aware of products that do or don't have Azo Dyes in them, and how rife is it across products that are available?
It's rife. Especially in pharmaceuticals. So medicine aimed for children, babies, up to, adults.
Wow.
I'd say probably 70% of pharmaceuticals have Azo Dyes in them.
Wow.
So it's huge. You can always find out if there's an ingredients list. So in food, it will be an actual number that correlates to an Azo Dye. So with ChatGPT or the internet now, we can look up those numbers and then find out, and then just, is this an Azo dye?
Yeah.
In cosmetics, it's a CI, so a CI number. So things like Azo Dyes are tartrazine, carmazine, things like that, but it would require investigation unless you know. So, you know, because of my allergies, I now can pick up something and go, okay, that's got an Azo, but they're different. And in pharmaceuticals, they will always have a sheet with not just the active, but the other ingredients that are utilised in manufacturing that. So,
yeah, wow.
yeah.
It's really difficult as a layperson. You know, you're obviously very educated and very aware of what Azo dyes are.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone like myself, like sometimes reading ingredients on food products or, you know, pharmaceutical kind of takes it to a whole new level. So they do have the standards that say all the ingredients need to be on the side of the box, but you know, like people don't know what they're reading.
That's right. And, you know, with food, and this is kind of how I live now, is that you get things that are pure. So instead of buying margarine, which a lot of the times will have tartrazine in them,
right?
You purchase butter.
Yes.
You know, I don't buy prepackaged goods. I make them myself. So, you know, there are ways that we can change our lifestyle somewhat.
Yeah.
To ensure that we don't. I think with medication is going that extra mile. And me personally, I ask the pharmacist, can you ensure that it doesn't have Azo dyes in it? So, yeah.
Right, okay.
Which some there are and some there aren't. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I think pharmaceuticals is a bit, you know, kind of a bit out the wheelhouse to see how you can swap things out. But if you look at that from a food perspective of everyday consumer purchases, what would be, say, the main three things that you would recommend listeners to swap out? You've said one, from margarine to butter. What would be another couple of examples?
Things like dishwashing liquid is get a clear dishwashing liquid. They're very hard to find, but constantly having your hands in an Azo dye, because it does permeate the skin as well. So it would be dishwashing liquid.
Right.
Ice cream. Don't eat ice cream, or if you do, eat all natural.
Oh my gosh, no ice cream.
Yeah, so the chemicals that they use, so there's actual chemicals that are used in ice cream that we use in cosmetics. So you're eating chemicals that are basically what we use. So, I mean, mind you, I do formulate as much as I can that you can actually eat the product.
Yeah,
it wouldn't taste great, but with the vanilla ice cream, they use GMS, glyceryl monostearate,
right, and
that makes the vanilla ice cream too white. So to actually make it look more vanilla, they do use the tartrazine, a lot of them.
Wow.
So
wow,
and the strawberry ice cream, carmazine.
Wow, that's so interesting, and I'm sure there's many other examples, but.
Cordial,
what can
jelly, like there's a lot.
There's a lot.
You know, in Europe, a good little piece of advice: Aldi home brand, because they're on the EU model. Yes. They don't put any artificial food colouring in their food.
Fantastic.
So the home brands.
The home brands.
Their home brand, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Good to know. I love Aldi.
Yeah.
I actually love their vanilla bean yogurt.
There you go. So
I love it. It's the best.
Yeah. They don't use. They have really good dairy. They have really good dairy. Their cottage cheese, their cheese is amazing.
Plug for Aldi. So, what are some of the consequences of you yourself have an allergy to Azo dyes? I just want to stay here for a moment, then we'll talk more about Inline. But what are some of the consequences? What can Azo dyes do?
Death is, it happens every year in quite a few industries. So in the textile industries, there are a lot of deaths.
Wow.
From allergies to Azo dyes.
Wow.
Where else? Oh, hair. People getting their hair dyed. I can't ever dye my hair, so I'm very lucky that I'm not that grey yet. But they can go to the base and get their hair coloured, and because of the Azo Dyes, they can have anaphylaxia and die.
Wow.
And
And that's just surface.
That's surface because they do permeate through the skin, and also inhalation.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So, and as I said, they're known carcinogens. So if you're continually ingesting or, on surface, it's bound to cause problems.
Wow.
It's bound to cause problems.
Wow. So what are some of the success stories? If you look at the conversations that you've had with clients who have come to manufacturing something at Inline, and you've encouraged that swap out, what have been some of a story of someone swapping out to a more natural?
There's lots of them. So there's a
Well
yeah.
done. Well done.
There's a lot of customers when I alert them to the fact, okay, this is an Azo dye, we can swap this out.
Yes.
90% of them will. There are a few customers that can't because they're registered products with the TGA.
Right.
Or they cannot get the desired effect with what we currently have with natural dyes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So still some ways to go to be able to create awareness of what Azo dyes are, and to have more companies like Inline that have the knowledge and the ability to suggest alternatives and to not just be oblivious to it, like I'm sure many people are.
Yeah, I'd really love to see, the chemical companies out there actually bringing out other variants of natural dyes.
Yes.
There's a standard, but it's not something that's been truly investigated, because I look at, 100 years ago we didn't have those dyes, but we had colour. So there's colour out there, and it's in nature.
Yes.
You look at, Sapa, they use indigo, so they know how to make colour.
Yeah.
It's just how do we invest in that in, Australia, Europe, America, to come up with alternate products that aren't Azo.
And do you do that at Inline?
Absolutely.
You play around with natural products to find?
I have done. So I love weaving. That's one of my hobbies. And so the natural dyeing process in the weaving, it's very hard to upscale though.
Yes.
That's where the issue is for us. And to be able to create a pigment that we could utilise in manufacturing, because we're under GMP, we've got to have a C of A. So we're kind of, the rules are that we can't actually manufacture to bulk for product.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. Okay. Well, keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you.
For Azo Dyes.
Thank you.
So let's talk a bit more about Inline.
Sure.
So you have quite a big team.
Yes.
There now.
Yes, I do.
Let's talk about your COVID story.
Sure.
Let's talk about the challenge that you faced, because it is quite an important story to the Inline story. Tell us what happened.
Okay, so obviously COVID hit in March 2020 in Australia and we got locked down. We manufacture healthcare products, so it was vital that we continued. We decided that we'd split the team. So we basically ran from 6 a.m. in the morning with one team, and then they would swap over at 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 11 p.m, I think, maybe 11:30 p.m. So basically, and at that time, there was also a shortage of pharma grade ethanol, which is the only one that we could use. So we were manufacturing sanitizers that were used in the hospitals. With that shortage, it meant that we could not manufacture what the hospitals needed at the time. Basically, I was working from 6 a.m. to midnight every day, whether it was on site or on the phone. And it was quite bizarre, because two of our largest customers were in the hairdressing world. They cancelled all their orders. So basically we had all of our largest customers cancel their orders, and the customer that is into the hospital said, I've got this crazy order for 360,000 hand soaps. And I'm like, I can do it. But then 2 weeks later, obviously, the hairdressing brands reinstated the orders, and yeah, we grew from there. But it was a very trying time, and the team was really happy once we made the decision to move back, and we'll deal with if COVID does run riot, and it did, did, but we continued to open the doors and continue running.
Yeah, fantastic. It was quite a testing time for a lot of businesses.
I envied the people that were at home during the 3-month holiday, let me tell you.
We're job seeker.
Yeah, that's it. Very envious.
Oh, gee, it's like to think about COVID times. It's just a bit mind-blowing, isn't it, that we've all lived through that.
That's right.
But for Inline, I'm sure there was lots of learnings during that time, but your growth has been quite astronomical from those times.
Absolutely, yeah. It was really interesting, and a lot of people would think that the growth is based from the hand sanitizers and into the hospitals, but it wasn't. It was more the cosmetics and yeah.
So what's important to you from a team perspective? A lot of your team, a lot of your leadership team have been with you for quite some time. You have very long tenure.
Yes.
What's the secrets behind that?
I think that we're like a family, and we all support each other. We're very supportive. It's also, I think, work-life balance. We do a 4-day working week, or you can choose to do 5. It's quite interesting that most of the men choose to do 5-day working week. I mean, there are some men that choose to do 4-day, but predominantly if I look at the 5 days per week, it's a male.
Yeah.
But yeah, a good work-life balance. I also ensure that we don't have work emails on our phone, not to be contacted unless it's an emergency outside of work hours.
Nice.
I think the team, it's just supporting each other, and each team in each section supports each other.
Yeah. So you guys were across the right to disconnect way before the right to disconnect actually became a conversation.
So we started the 4-day working weeks pre-COVID, I think in 2018, 2019.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And you are across 3 different sites.
Yes.
And you have 2 different businesses.
Yes.
So how do you build a culture that is united across 3 locations, 2 businesses? How do you keep that unified?
I think it's good leadership and having a good leadership team. Also things like combined town halls where the 3 sites come together. We have shared services that go to the 3 sites on a weekly basis, including myself. So, and it's leadership. I think it's, from the top, and I won't say down, I'll say across, it's mindset, it's culture. Yeah. And each of the 3 sites have the same culture. People love coming to work and they work as a team.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And given your background, you are so technically astute in your own business, if I could say that. You have grown up with it. It is part of your existence. It's part of your life.
Yep.
As the company has grown, has there been any challenges for you personally to, step away and let the team do what they need to do, but also know that you're upholding the standards that you've been brought up to uphold?
Yeah. I find it really easy to let go, and I think because I have such trust in my team, and it makes it easier for me, right? So I can, if I feel like traveling and going away for 6 weeks, I know that I can go away for 6 weeks and it not be a burden.
Amazing.
Maybe for some of the team members, they, because I'm obviously the ultimate decision maker, and when I go away, they're basically left to make a decision, and whether they make a wrong one or a right one, I believe it's the only way to learn. So I'm very good at letting go.
Yeah. Fantastic.
But I think I've learnt that. I don't think it comes naturally.
Yes. Yes. Well, having grown up in the business, and as you said, when the business started, you had 6 employees. Mm-hmm. That's really easy to have your finger in all the pies. That's really easy for you to be the decision maker.
Yep.
When you've got 120 people full time, and then you also have 60 others that kind of come and go, that's a very, very different environment for you to navigate.
It is. It's really different to, I used to know everyone's partners' names and children and things like that. So I find that difficult, but I still try to make sure that I'm on the ground and people know who I am. And, at town halls, I love that, I get to sit down with different people. I make an effort to go and sit down with people that I've not talked to, and, that I'm human and, and see, I hate the word boss. To me, I don't like the word boss, because to me, I'm a team member. We're all a team. We're all there for the same goal.
Yeah. So if you had a new starter that was starting today, what message would you give them?
Have fun and really enjoy the culture.
Yeah.
I think it's very strong. I think that you will be supported by your team.
Yeah.
And if you're not, come and talk to me.
Fantastic. That's a good message. And talk us through the type of products that you say yes to at Inline. You are very ethical. You have a lot of sustainability projects and things going on across the business. What types of things do you generally manufacture, and what would you say no to?
Well, I have said no to a product. So there was a keratin hair straightening treatment that was being manufactured, and a lot of imports from overseas, which in the end I did get 1 or 2 shipments turned away because they were using formaldehyde at a 1.6% free formaldehyde.
What does that mean?
That means that, again, another carcinogen and not very good for you. So part of the treatment was putting it on the hair with heat. So for those hairdressers, again, inhalation into the lungs, and I look at like asbestosis and things like that, that's what it would cause. So products that are detrimental, there's a lot that I won't allow. So there's a lot of ingredients that I won't allow into the facility that are harmful. So I say no to products that we work off EU regulations for cosmetics because the Australian standards are not as stringent. They're very minimal. They're very minimal.
Yeah.
In Australia, I find it's harder to make a dog shampoo than it is to make a shampoo for humans.
Right.
So we do use EU guidelines for that. So anything that doesn't fall within those guidelines, we won't manufacture.
Yeah. And what type of companies do you normally find seek you out? And why would they seek you out in comparison to some of your competitors?
It's always word of mouth. We've never marketed. So we're at a stage at the moment that we can't take on any new customers for the liquid side, for the nutrition, because we're moving the site. We can, but it's always word of mouth.
Fantastic.
So,
Fantastic. And what do you think it is about the culture or the team, and what do they focus on which enables that word of mouth to grow? Why do people come to you? Why do they stay with you?
I think it's, I think we manufacture products on kind of like our culture. We care.
Yes.
I think we're very strong in the R&D, so we are very good at what we do.
Yes.
Quality and customer service. I look at, the people that are the front of the business, which is no longer me. At one stage it was. They are amazing humans, and they really, they live and breathe the ethics of the company. So, yeah.
And do you think it is that ethical integrity of
Absolutely.
the products because to me that kind of like really stands out from when I hear you talk. And again, coming from a layman's perspective, but it does seem like the ethics and the integrity of that and your own personal passions for being as natural as you can be with the products. Yeah. I would think that would be quite appealing for a lot of people that are wanting to manufacture products these days.
And because we're a third-party manufacturer, so we don't own any of our own brands, we can have a lot of competing customers. So, we might have 2 or 3 from the hairdressing world. They're all in competition with each other. We have to maintain that integrity and the ethics in, not giving them the same formulation, not letting other people know who we manufacture for, It's quite funny. Sometimes I'll get benchmarks of a product that I manufacture. So to then come up with a formulation that's similar but, not the same, because there's so many ways you can formulate that we do that,
Sure. And from a culture perspective, what do you look for in people to join the organisation?
I look for people that are like-minded. So to me, it's really critical. Like attracts like, and anyone that's ethical, a can-do attitude is really, really important because no day is the same in manufacturing. There are curveballs every single day, so they need to be adaptable as well.
Yeah,
and they need to be positive. I think positive goes a long way.
Yeah. And when we were talking off the mic, you said that, you obviously have had quite sustainable and significant growth over the last few years.
Yep.
And being able to find people who are technically competent is sometimes quite difficult. You were saying that you do hire kind of behaviourally, first of all, and if they have the technical competency, fantastic, but you would mainly hire for behavioural culture fit and then train for technical competency. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Because there are not many cosmetic manufacturers or even food manufacturers, there tends to be more, but for cosmetics or pharmaceuticals, there's not many manufacturers left in Australia. So it is basically, getting the right person and then training them.
Yeah, fantastic.
Accordingly. Yeah.
And what about growth plans? Not necessarily even growth plans because we don't all need to grow, but what's your plan? What's your strategy over the next, say, 3 years?
Well, interesting, because I've got a 7-year business plan that I'm 4 years through.
Wow.
So I have 3 years remaining.
Yeah.
And it is to grow the company, basically with a turnover probably 4 times what we're doing now.
Wow.
So actually it's 6, but everyone just thinks I won't make it. So, yes, there is a growth plan in place.
And I always love when people are like, you're kind of more than halfway through and you've still got a time to go. I love these stories because it's like, it's not just the aspirational. It's like, all right, where are you now on that strategy? Where are you on that plan? Are you where you thought you would be when you set it 4 years ago?
I'm a year behind.
Okay.
I'm a year behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's interesting. The first 2 years we were in front.
Okay.
So, I think if we continue on this path, I think that by next financial year we will be on track again.
Fantastic.
So
Oh,
it's very exciting.
Oh, watch this space.
And it's, to be honest with you, I'm not a planning person, and it's the first time I've ever planned anything in my life.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. Are you enjoying it?
Loving it.
Yeah.
Loving it. And and it's nice to have a plan.
Yes.
It doesn't always eventuate how you plan. That's life, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think companies, if I look at it, from a HR perspective, but also from a business and commercial acumen, when you've got a team around you, you need to have the strategy.
Absolutely.
Because, it's strategy, corporate word, what have you, but it helps the team compass to meaning and compass to growth and compass to what the goals of the organisation have. Without a strategy or without a plan, it's just absent. People are just, kind of rocking up to do what they think is best. So having the strategy and having that long-term strategy and having the team be aligned with that strategy is actually, it sounds really simple, but it's actually so powerful.
It is. It's like, you don't steer a ship not knowing where you're going.
Exactly.
And I think it creates accountability.
Yes.
And you need to direct, and the staff need to know where they're going.
Yes.
They need to know where they're going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I always say it that trust and clarity are the two most important things that company cultures need.
Absolutely. I agree.
They need trust and they need clarity.
Yep.
They need trust, and if we talk about, psychosocial and mental well-being and all those types of things that are like, companies and employers have to pay attention to those things today. And that is through trust. When people have trust, they have safety.
Absolutely.
When people have clarity, they know what they're showing up for. They can have that. They can attach themselves not just on an activity and task basis, but on a heart and passion basis as well.
Absolutely. Totally. Yep. Agree with you 100%. And to me, it is the clarity, but I think trust is the key.
Yeah.
If you have a team that trusts each other, the world is your oyster.
Absolutely.
And it's a privilege to turn up and, sometimes be challenged. If they trust you, they'll challenge you.
Yes.
And that's important too, that you're respectfully challenged as well.
Yes.
Because as a leader, I'm not always correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is such a critical point, because if you don't have an environment, if you don't have a culture where people can voice their concerns and know that those concerns are safe, they will quit. They'll sit there quietly.
Yep.
They'll fester. They'll ruminate, and they will end up departing.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So if you have, let's just come back to this strategy. I'm so happy about this strategy. So we've got 3 years to go. Very aggressive plans. I love it. A year behind, that's okay, because it's 1 year. You've had 4 years. Like that's very,
I was in front for
success.
2. I know I was on target for 1, and I'm now behind.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay, because we've got 3 years for you to get back on track with that. And strategies are normally set to be quite aspirational.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
so the fact that, you've made such great progress with that strategy over the last 4 years, I love it. But let's bring it back to a people perspective. Sure. So you're 120 at the moment, plus 60 labour hire. When we get to the end of the strategy, what does the people side of Inline look like?
I suspect it will be around 300. Automation will help, but there's, we still need humans, and for me, that's my driver. Yes. Some people can be driven by power, money. My driver is definitely people and planet, but yeah. First is people.
Yeah, amazing. So where are we, 20 for 25?
28.
2028.
Yep.
Okay, so Inline would be times 6, did you say, revenue?
Times 6 revenue.
Times 6?
Yeah.
Times 6 revenue and 300 plus employees.
Yes.
Wow. I wish you all the best.
And I want a cafe. That would be nice.
And you want a cafe?
Yeah, just to make sure that, people are fed healthy food as well.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Mind you, we always have stores of food at all sites for staff, if they forget their lunch or, don't have money to buy their lunch. But I'd love a cafe that, serving really good food.
Fantastic. Yeah. And that's, that's a sense of connection and community at cafes,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
So, I think this whole AI world and the world of automations and, what technology can do for businesses, particularly in manufacturing. Yeah. Like, there are a lot of efficiencies that can happen from technology.
Absolutely.
But looking after the human side, it's kind of, I was actually saying the other day that in my line of work, sometimes managers will kind of outsource the conversations that they'll have with their team members to ChatGPT because they don't have the depth of thought to go, I need to sit with this and see how to have this conversation. Yeah. They completely outsource it, which we can't get away from because it's here to stay. And that's just one example. But being able to look after the humans just as much as we're looking after the technology is really, really critical.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at it and things like we do one-on-ones. I think that's really important.
Yes.
Just simple one-on-one.
Yes.
It takes you 5-10 minutes and if it's continual and, you get to know things before they become a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so many companies are, kind of shifting away from one-on-ones or they, and I don't even think it's just now, people don't have time.
Yeah.
But, even 5-10 minutes because it's that space of alignment between two human beings that need to be on the same page.
And technology will never, ever do that.
No.
And I think it's important, it's important for team members to be able to voice in a really safe space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm. Yes. Keep them aligned with the strategy.
Absolutely.
Keep them aligned with, being able to raise the healthy debates in that space before they even become debates. Mm-hmm. It's very, very, very important.
It is.
It is very important.
Extremely.
If Inline were a song, what would it be? And why? And you're welcome to sing a line if you like.
Okay. I actually know this because we had a competition at work and so all the staff picked a song and the winner was I get knocked down and I get up again. And go keep me down, I get knocked down.
Like it.
That's the song.
Why is that significant?
Because manufacturing, it's such a challenging industry and it's why I love it, right? Because every day is different. So, and I'm a problem solver. It's what comes naturally to me. I thrive on it. I know a lot of the team thrive on how do we solve problems because manufacturing will throw you a curveball every single day. Mm. So you get knocked down, but you just continually get up and, the next day is another day and bring it on again.
Amazing.
So it's very, very, I look at it and go, it totally aligns with who Inline is.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. I've got it in my head now. It's going to be there all day. So, Karma, thank you very, very much for coming in today. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
I absolutely wish you all the very best in your strategy, in the growth of the team. I've been a cheerleader in the sidelines with Inline since I've met you. So for the last couple of years, and you do really have a very radiant team. And, because you've got such high tenure in a lot of areas of your business, like it really is a testament. And it is a testament of that family run, that essence of family, which is, truly remarkable for you and for the team at Inline. So I wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everybody for listening to the Kan Talk Kulture podcast today. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me on Kan Talk Kulture. I'm Kylie Neal. I hope today's episode gave you a clearer view into the values driving your workplace, or sparked new ideas about building a remarkable company culture. If you're a founder or CEO interested in sharing your culture story, or if you're looking to build a safer, stronger, and more trusted workplace, let's connect. Visit kanculture.com. That's KANKULTURE.com to learn more. Please hit that subscribe button to hear more real conversations with founders and CEOs and hands-on episodes full of people-first culture advice. I look forward to connecting with you on our next episode.